welcome back. First, let me welcome you to Real Life Talk with Blessing. So, after my last episode of The Widow Who Wants to Get Married, a lot of women felt motivated. They sent in their own experiences. I am glad women felt confident enough to share their stories with me. And truly, I am grateful because for years, I suffered in silence. And that was how I slided into depression. But the thing is, why do men hate their wives? Some even extend their hatred to their children. I saw how my father treated my mother and how it ended. And I realized women have been abused for centuries. And wonder will never end. I was not one of those smart kids growing up. I went to 3 primary schools and 4 secondary schools. Because my father moved around a lot as a police officer. I think that had a huge impact on my comprehension as a kid. Then when the teacher taught maths, I actually do cry because I was confused. To me, I seemed like the only child who didn't understand anything in class. Everyone called me a dullard. From my father to my stepmothers to my relations and so much more. So now you understand what I mean when I said I suffered a lot when I was growing up. And I felt when I grow up, I will end up, with this Cinderella happy ending. Nah. It didn't work that way. In fact, if you're not careful, you will end up with a man like your toxic father. I felt with all my suffering, I will have a happy ending. It doesn't always work like that. Children from broken homes always struggle, especially when it comes to what they want, because their parents don't agree on decisions. So this is it. Before you get into that relationship, before you agree for marriage, think about it. Are there red flags you should be concerned about? Are there things you need to discuss? Are there things you need to discuss with this person? Is there a particular trait or a particular character they have that you feel will not work for you? But you think, oh, I'm getting old, I need to get married. Sweetie, it doesn't always end up like that. If you ignore those characters you think are not okay with you, you're going to suffer. You know why I said that? Because those characters won't change. So before you get into a relationship, you know what you want. And if you're dating a reasonable person, it's something you guys can talk about. I don't see a reason why he goes out, he stays out all late, he womanizes, he's a chronic liar and a narcissist, he's manipulative, he complains about your friends, he doesn't want you to have friends, he wants you to be alone. He calls you all manner of names when you guys have a misunderstanding. And you think, oh, he will change when we get married. Girl, be prepared for war. It's not going to change. It's hard for character to change, except the person wants to change. Character is not habit. Character are inbuilt. They are things from the inside. Habits are just things on the outside, like he smokes, he drinks. Those are bad habits. They are bad habits. But you see, an abuser is a character. someone who could abuse you verbally and mentally. And a manipulator, a thief, is not a habit, those are characters. A liar is a character. So, men and women, you know me, I like to talk about these things the way it is. A lot of time I hear people say, oh my God, this is so unbelievable. Yes, that's someone's life, that's someone's story. A lot of women are suffering so much in marriages and nobody seems to want to talk about it. A lot of men suffer too in marriages. I have seen women who are abusive, both emotionally and physically, mentally. They'll mess a man up. I have seen women who have other men's kids for their husbands. I've seen women who leave their husbands to go date other men. Men and women, before you get into that marriage, before you decide to say, yes, I want to settle down, remember, marriage is work. Just like you go to school, you get a degree, you don't wake up and get it, you work for it. You go to classes, you get lectures, you take tests, you write exams, then you get a score. Some people get 100, some people get 10, some people get 50. Depends on how much effort you put into that test. You see, after my last episode, a lot of women reached out. A lot of women have stories to share. And the funny thing is, a lot of the stories are similar. A lot of them are married to narcissists. A lot of them are married to manipulative, controlling men. A lot of them are married to men who don't want them to be financially independent. How did this get to this? You know, my last episode was really sensitive, I guess, because a lot of people responded to that particular topic or to that particular story. Oh, blessing, this thing that happened to this woman. Can you imagine my husband did something like this? Oh, but if that day, why do you hate your wives? Why do you hate your wives? You know, nobody ever prays for a broken marriage. Nobody ever wakes up to say, oh, I wish I had a broken marriage. Oh, I wish I had a bad relationship. Because we know how badly it can affect you, both physically, mentally, emotionally. A bad relationship can affect your life so badly that you become a shadow of yourself. That is why I say, get it right. Get it right. Don't go into a marriage because of your age, because of his financial background. Think very well. There are things money can't fix, like emotional abuse. He could give you all the money and you will be mentally unstable at the end of the day. And you know one thing I have to tell you, a bad marriage affects your children more than it affects you. So if you get it wrong, you are not the only one who's going to suffer. Your children will suffer. Is that the kind of thing you want for them? So I tell young ladies, before you get married, don't only think about a husband. Think about what kind of father will he make. There are good husbands who are terrible fathers. There are good women who are terrible mothers. You're not marrying her just because of the boobs and the ass. Those things fade. I always talk about it. If you go after people because of your physical attributes, remember, life is unpredictable. I have seen beautiful women lose their eyes. I've seen beautiful women lose a leg and an arm. So are you trying to say you won't love her anymore after that? Yes, it's good to be beautiful. It's good to look good. The society has this image for beauty. Tall, light-skinned, long hair, full lips, nice eyes. Your beauty might be different from my beauty. We all see differently. If you look at a particular picture, it could look horrible to you and look beautiful to another person. I think that is why this word came up. Beauty is in the eyes of the beholder. So it depends on how you see beauty. But please remember, marriage is not for you alone. It's for you, your children, because they are going to be part of that journey. And you will not, because of your selfishness, bring them into a world of pain. So please, this whole episode is because of the response I got from the last episode about the widow who wants to get married. You know, a lot of people is saying, oh girl, you go for it, go for it. She deserves to be happy. Everyone deserves happiness. So please, before you get married, sit down and talk. A lot of couples don't talk. If you don't talk, if you don't communicate, how do you build a relationship? That is like two dumb and deaf people moving. When there is a trailer coming, both of them won't hear. And that trailer could knock them off. Marriage is teamwork. To the men, marriage is teamwork. Work with your partner. When a woman starts to suspect you, starts to doubt you, starts to feel insecure, ask yourself, did I make her feel this way? Did I put her in this position? Am I the cause of her insecurity? Thank you once again for joining me on Real Life Talk with Blessing. Here I like to share real life stories and real life experience. I like to share so that the younger ones can learn something and correct their journey. Do have a nice day, guys. I'll talk to you again on Real Life Talk with Blessing. Don't forget, I am your host, King B. And follow me on all social media platforms. Let's connect. Let's be friends. Do have a nice day. Bye.